focus on the down.
We're all over. I'm going to this weekend.
And never will encourage.
And what I don't understand, I believe in transparency. I believe in taking responsibility. Decided they'd go kill some Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
I want to know why my son was dead.
The issue now is that Donald Trump has got to be loud and clear and tell his supporters that violence at rallies is not what America is about, and to end it.
They're now shouting, Bernie, Bernie.
Donald Trump is a pathological liar.
I know what Donald Trump is doing is representing the absolute heartbreak and anger and frustration at a government gone mad.
Parties choose their nominee, not the general public.
Then why bother holding the primaries?
The people think that Donald Trump is a clown.
Donald Trump is a clown. Their
game is the right word here. I mean, does anybody seriously think that Donald Trump is serious about running for president?
Trump is not going to be president, and he's not going to be our nominee.
Trump will not be president.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Trump is a phenomenon unlike anything we've seen in modern times. At a level of maybe no Republican, including Reagan, in that they identify with him, they show up for him. Look at the size of the crowds he's drawing.
The wall.
He's Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump.
I want a future that's mine. I'm self-funding my campaign.
If I become president, I couldn't care less about my company.
They're controlled like puppets. I'm not controlled by anybody.
I don't owe anybody anything. I only owe it to the American people.
And in the Middle East, I guess we've spent $5 trillion. We could have rebuilt our bridges, our tunnels, our roads, our hospitals, our airports. We could have rebuilt our country. We could have taken care of our veterans who were treated worse than illegal immigrants. We could have taken care of everything. We are going to make America great again.
Today we pray for Donald Trump. Yes. We pray for his family. We pray for his associates. We pray that what he has heard today from those who have spoken into his life, he will consider. Lord, I pray that you will bring into his life a strong African American who can stand with him and represent that community so that his voice will be heard even in a stronger way there. Lord, whatever it is you're going to do to bring around him the right people as he moves forward in this campaign, we ask you to give him direction and give him hope. And Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here for this special moment. Perhaps we'll look back on this day and remember that we stood together and we prayed over the next president of the United States.
I've come to know Donald Trump over the last few years. He is actually a very intelligent man who cares deeply about America. There are two different Donald Trumps. There's the one you see on the stage, and there's the one who's very cerebral, sits there and considers things very carefully. You can have a very good conversation with him.
Now, some of you might be surprised at this statement that I'm about to make, but I found Mr. Trump not only to be very gracious and very hospitable, but I also found Mr. Donald Trump to be a very humble man. My personal objective in this rally is for you to form an opinion of Donald Trump that is not based upon what the liberal media wants to brainwash you with.
I'm here because I'm agitated that the media does not separate legal immigration from illegal. People spill out their guts to come here legally, and it's just really a shame that they give you a bad name. You do support immigration.
Totally support, and I support Hispanics.
He hired a lot of strong women and gave us opportunities and promoted us and listened to us. And so he's not as bad as he sounds.
He's an incredibly generous person. He's been generous to his employees. He's generous to strangers. He's an entirely nice guy.
He is one of the most generous people I know. And he wants you and your mom to have a very special check.
Just look at who Donald Trump's opponents are, and you understand you're on the side of the patriot. You're on the side of history.
Donald Trump, look, here's a guy who I really respect. Here's a guy who gets things done in New York. You want to have somebody fix our country? Donald Trump is a guy who could economically fix our country.
Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad. He's one of the few people who stood up and said, you know what, China has been cheating. They've taken jobs from Americans. They haven't played fair. We have to have a president who will stand up to cheaters. We believe in free trade and free enterprise, but we don't believe in allowing people to cheat day in and day out.
Donald Trump is for real. Donald Trump really does want to save this country.
I trust Trump. I think at the end of the day, he wants what's best for the country. He cares for the country. He's a true patriot, and I believe everything he says.
I think that he would rather be the leader that people want him to be than be just another go along with the establishment guy. If he wanted to be a go along with the establishment guy, he didn't need to run for president in the first place.
No, he had that in spades already.
Right, and he's really sacrificed that. You know, he is no longer welcome at a lot of those dinner parties.
They say, hey, I kind of like Trump, but I'm scared to admit it. People will call me names. And I just look at people and I say, are we a free country? Are you a man or are you a mouse? I mean, it's really that simple.
We the people can own our government. We can own and control the fate of our nation.
Deep down inside, we see the good old days inside of Donald Trump. We see what we know is lost in America, and we want it back.
An avenger named Trump has risen, promising to stop the madness and giving blunt voice to millions of angry Americans.
Things he's saying, I've been saying for years. When he wins, we all win.
I just need someone who's got common sense and a backbone.
Her child was brutally murdered by illegal immigrants. She said, why is it that people in Washington, D.C. are more upset about Mr. Trump's tone than about the death of my child?
They asked, is there anger from your people? There seemed to be, and I said there is anger. They're not angry people, but they want to see the country properly run. They want to see borders. They want to see good health care. They want to see things properly taken care of.
There's a group of people in America that feel like they've been ignored. I know that for a fact. They feel like this country has let them down, and the left has hijacked, and some of the right has hijacked our nation. So this is what Donald Trump answers to. It's not anger, it's love of country. And they've all of the media is getting it wrong. And that's a subversive act to me.
The American people are speaking, and they're speaking loud and clear. I think they're tired of what's happening in this country. I, for one, am scared to death what's happening in this country and this world. And we need someone who's going to be strong.
The little people, just like us, men and women in every corner of this planet, are whispering the name of Donald Trump because they believe. They are literally placing their hopes and dreams for a free, safe, and prosperous future squarely on his shoulders and gruff voice.
Put America first. Get our jobs back. Reassert our fiscal sanity. Balance the budget. Cut our debt. Rebuild our strength. What's in the best interests of the United States of America? That's Trumpism.
He's somebody who inspires people to think that America can be more than what it is now. As brash as he is and as bold as he is, I think he can get people to follow him and make some real changes in this country.
America must have a strong leader again that can restore American jobs, that can restore American confidence, and Donald Trump is just the man to do it.
What do we want? Think of it. What do we want? We want homes, we want education, we want good borders, we want a strong military, we want a good job. Our jobs are being taken away because we have people that don't know what the hell they're doing in Washington. We want good trade deals. We don't want to lose hundreds of billions of dollars a year for the sake of trade. What does it mean, trade? I want trade where we make money, we don't lose money. The silent majority is back, and we're going to take the country back. We're going to win so much. You people are going to get sick and tired of winning. We're going to win at everything we do, and other countries are going to respect us. We're not going to be kissing ass when 10 wonderful people get captured. We're bringing back our jobs. We're going to make something really special. We are going to make America so great again. Better than ever before.
We need strong leadership for a stronger America.
This is your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will never come again.
For any man that wavers is like the blowing wind on the water. Let not that man think he shall receive anything from you. No man can be successful as President of the United States without your wisdom. And so we ask you today to give this man your wisdom boldly, make sure and certain that he hears. Manifest yourself to him. And we thank you and praise you for a bold man, a strong man, and an obedient man. We praise you and we thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
You have no idea how limitless it is when you're not afraid of what other people think or say. You have to act as if you have no limits to your abilities. Zero.
And that ties into what we see lacking in this world, and we see a lot of other signs of that.
And Donald Trump is the preeminent manifestation that, at least in America, they're up to here with it. He is a perfect example. America is fed up with all the bull. And I believe that political correctness is a manifestation that the world has a lack of self-esteem.
So we had lack of self-esteem, we get an Obama. The fact that Trump is getting support, is that showing that we're shedding that off a little bit?
When he becomes President of the United States, I said a year ago, if he's serious about being president, he will rock not only the United States of America, he will rock the world. 5 months ago, he says he's going to punch Putin in the mouth, if you recall. 6 days later, Putin says, I like that man. What does that tell you, Brian? What does that tell these people listening?
What?
Respect gets respect. Instead of all this political horse. If Donald Trump becomes president, he's going to rock the planet. He's going to change it. The U.S. sneezes, the rest of the world gets a cold. You know,
Trump gets elected and we see a wave.
I'd love to see Bernie run against Trump.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. Someone's getting very nervous. Barack Obama, Valerie Jarrett, Eric Holder, Hillary Clinton, John Corzine, to name a few, and I know why. I wrote a book called The Murder of the Middle Class about the unholy conspiracy and alliance between big government, big business, and big media. They all benefit by the billions from this partnership, and it's in all of their interest to protect one another. It's one for all and all for one. It's one heck of a filthy relationship that makes everyone filthy rich. Everyone except the American people. We get ripped off. We're the targets. We're the patsies. But for once, the powerful socialist cabal and the corrupt crony capitalists are scared. I've never seen them this outraged, this vicious, this motivated, this crazed, this coordinated. Never in all my years in politics, and I've been watching politics for over 30 years, have I seen anything like the way the mad dogs of hell have been unleashed on Donald Trump. When white extremist David Duke ran for governor of Louisiana, even he wasn't treated with this kind of outrage, vitriol, and disrespect. When a known fraud, scam artist, and tax cheat like Al Sharpton ran for president, I never saw anything remotely close to this. The over-the-top reaction to Donald Trump by politicians of both parties and the media and the biggest corporations in America has been so swift and insanely angry that it suggests they're all threatened and frightened like never before. Why? Because David Duke was never going to win. We all knew that. Al Sharpton was never going to win. Ron Paul was never going to win. Ross Perot was never going to win as a third-party candidate. None of those candidates had the $1 billion it takes, by the way, to win the presidency, with the exception of Perot, and he was a third-partier. But Donald Trump could self-fund that amount tomorrow and still have another $1 billion left over to pour into the last 2-week stretch before Election Day. No matter how much they say to the contrary, the media, business elites, and political elites understand that Donald Trump is no joke and could actually win and upset their cozy little apple cart. It's no coincidence that everyone has gotten together to destroy the Donald. No, this is a coordinated conspiracy led by one man, Barack Obama. Obama himself is making the phone calls, giving the orders, the ultimate intimidator who plays by the rules of Chicago thug politics. And why is this so important to Obama? Because most of the other politicians, if not all of them, are part of the old boys club. They talk big, but in the end, they won't change a thing. Why? Because they're all beholden to big money donors. They're all owned by lobbyists, unions, lawyers, gigantic environmental organizations, multinational corporations like Big Pharma or Big Oil, or they're owned lock, stock, and barrel by foreigners like George Soros owns Obama, or foreign governments own Hillary Clinton with their Clinton Foundation donations. These run-of-the-mill establishment politicians are all puppets owned by big money. But one man, and only one man, isn't beholden to anyone. One man doesn't need foreigners or foreign governments or foreign money or George Soros or the United Auto Workers Union or the Teachers Union or the SEIU or the Bar Association to fund his presidential campaign. Billionaire tycoon and maverick Donald Trump doesn't need anyone. That means he doesn't care what the media says or does. He doesn't care what the corporate elites think. That makes him dangerous to the entrenched interests. That makes Trump a huge threat. Trump can ruin everything for the bride politicians and their spoiled slave masters. Don't you ever wonder why the GOP has never tried to impeach Obama? Don't you wonder why Boehner and McConnell talk a big game, but never actually try to stop Obama? Don't you wonder why Congress holds the purse strings, yet they've never tried to defund Obamacare or Obama's clearly illegal executive action on amnesty for illegal aliens? Bizarre, right? It defies logic. Well, first, I guess many key Republicans are being bribed. Secondly, I believe many key Republicans are being blackmailed. Whether they're having affairs or secretly gay or stealing taxpayer money, the NSA knows all. The NSA knows everything. And former House Speaker Dennis Hastert knows all about that. The government even knew that Dennis Hastert was withdrawing large sums of his own money from his own bank account. Trust me, the NSA, the SEC, the IRS, and all the other three-letter government agencies are watching every Republican political leader. They know everything. Thirdly, many Republicans are petrified of being called racist, so they're scared to death to ever criticize Obama or call out his crimes, let alone demand his impeachment. And fourth, why rock the boat? After defeat or retirement, if you're a good old boy, you got a $5 million per year lobbying job just waiting. The big money interests have the system gamed. Win or lose, they win and you lose. But Donald Trump doesn't play by those rules. Donald Trump doesn't play that game. Trump breaks up this nice, cozy relationship between big government, big media, and big business. All the rules are out the window if Donald wins the presidency. The other politicians will protect Obama and his aides, but not Donald. Remember, Trump is the guy who publicly questioned Obama's birth certificate. He questioned Obama's college records and how a mediocre student got into an Ivy League university with those crappy grades and mediocre record. Now he's doing something no Republican has the chutzpah to do. Question our relationship with Mexico. Question why the border's wide open. Question why no wall has been built across the border. Questioning if allowing millions of illegal aliens into America who almost all want food stamps and all kinds of other entitlement checks is in our best interest. Questioning why so many illegal aliens commit violent crimes yet are not deported. Questioning why our trade deals with Mexico, Russia, and China are so pathetically bad. Donald Trump actually has the audacity to ask out loud why American workers always get the short end of the stick. Good question. I'm certain Trump will question what happened to the almost $1 billion given in a rigged no-bid contract to college friends of Michelle Obama at foreign companies to build an effective Obamacare website. And by the way, that tab has now risen to $5 billion for some websites that don't work. Trump will ask if Obamacare's architects can be charged with fraud for selling it by lying. He will ask if Obama himself committed fraud when he said if you like your healthcare plan, you could keep it. And at that moment, he knew that was a lie. Trump will investigate Obama's widespread IRS conspiracy, not to mention Obama's college records. Trump will prosecute Hillary Clinton and Obama for fraud committed to cover up Benghazi before the election. How about the fraud committed by employees of the Labor Department when they made up out of thin air dramatic job increases in the last jobs report before the 2012 election so Obama could win the election based on a lie? Obama, the multinational corporations and the media need to stop this. They recognize this can get out of control. If left unchecked, telling the raw truth and asking questions everyone else is afraid to ask, Donald could wake a sleeping giant, the American people. Trump's election would be a nightmare. Obama has committed numerous crimes. No one else but Donald would dare to prosecute. Donald Trump will not hesitate. Once Donald gets in and gets a look at the cooked books and Obama's records, the game is over. The jig is up. The goose is cooked. Eric Holder could wind up behind bars. Valerie Jarrett could wind up behind bars. Obama bundler John Corzine could wind up in prison for losing $1.5 billion of customer money. Hillary Clinton could wind up in jail for deleting 32,000 emails, or accepting bribes from foreign governments while Secretary of State, or for misplacing $6 billion as head of state, or for lying about Benghazi. The entire upper-level management of the IRS could wind up behind bars. Obamacare will be defunded and dismantled. The Obama crime family will be prosecuted for crimes against the American people. And Obama himself could wind up ruined, his legacy in tatters. Trump will investigate, Trump will prosecute, Trump will go after everyone involved just for fun. And that will all happen on Trump's first day in the White House. Who knows what Donald will do on day number 2. That's why the dogs of hell have been unleashed on Donald Trump. I'm Wayne Alaroot for Personal Liberty. See you next week. God bless America.
Faced with a very real prospect of Donald Trump becoming the leader of the party, and it absolutely drives them crazy. They just cannot imagine sharing. Well, because he's an outsider. He's not them. He's not part of the club. He's uncontrollable. He hasn't been through the initiation rites. He didn't belong to the secret society.
We're going to protect Christianity, and I can say that. I don't have to be politically correct. We're going to protect it. If you look what's going on throughout the world, you look at Syria, where if you're Christian, they're chopping off heads. You look at the different places, and Christianity, it's under siege.
Paranoia is in bloom, transmissions will resume. I try to keep us all down, and hope that we will never see the truth around. Another promise, another seed, a package like to keep us trapped in greed. A green belts wrapped around our minds, an endless red tape to keep the truth confined.
I got to know Donald Trump after he spoke here in 2012, and I learned so much about him that the public never hears. I called him about a large Christian ministry in another state that needed some help. I learned within a day or two he had donated $100,000 of his own money. He learned about Clyde Frazier Jr., who ran the Harlem Hoops tournament in the inner city and was killed in the 9/11 attacks, and he searched down the family and he donated the money to keep that tournament going. Example after example like that of just generosity that never made it into the public's eye. We got his limousine broke down one time. A couple stopped and helped him. He paid off their mortgage a few days later.
Control
60 Minutes, Trump was watching a report about a Maytag plant that moved out of Iowa into Mexico, and the 3 companies in that report, he actually searched them out. They were about to go out of business because Maytag had left, and he found ways to buy products from those companies through his hotels to keep them in business. He gave the money to the local Domino's pizza restaurant so they could buy cheese and bread. You look at the fruits of his life and all the people he's provided jobs, I think that's the true test of somebody's Christianity, not whether or not they use the right theological terms. Jesus said, render unto Caesar, and that means be good citizens, be voting citizens. And he said, when I go in the voting booth, I'm not electing a Sunday school teacher or a theologian or somebody who agrees with my theological views. I'm voting for the person who is most qualified to be the President of the United States.